False Confidence by Kahn is a really nice way to get into fingerstyle, finger picking, with an introduction, something like this. But before we go any further, make sure you've got a capo, make sure you've got one of these. Mine's sitting over here at fret number 6. And then make sure you've also got a copy of the tab sheet. And we're looking at the introduction where it says 0, 1. And we're going to do what I just demonstrated, basically, something like this at slow motion. Like that. You'll notice that the fingers have been numbered. That helps you a bit as well, so make sure you're using the same fingers as I am. It makes the whole playing and performance of the piece a lot better. Now before we get going, I just want to quickly sort of interject what to do with your picking hand. So I'm going to change the angle of the camera a little bit. And you'll notice that I'm using my thumb for the 5th string and my first finger for the 2nd string. So slow motion, while my first finger at the top over here is playing fret number 1 after the capo, is going to go like this. And you'll notice that the last note over here, when my 3rd finger came into play, my thumb went from the 5th string to the 6th string. Now, as far as the other fingers are going, I actually like resting my fingers on the guitar for support. It gives me some sort of central positioning so my hand can't drift. So we don't want this because now the hand can move. So we're just looking for something to help position your hand, keep your picking hand in a set place. It makes the whole sort of playing and the performance better. Now that's your introduction. Okay, so one more time for me at full speed. You see left and right hands in the picture here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're on to verse 1. I'm going to focus more again onto your fretting hand so we can see what's happening over here. You know how to pick it over here. And we'll sort of, as we go along, explain what fingers to use and what strings, etc., etc. Okay. On your finger positions, you're now looking at verse 1. It's going to look and sound something like this once you've played the whole thing through. Watch how little my fingers move. And you'll notice that this hand isn't moving much. Now in the first bar, finger 1 on the 2nd string from the bottom, on the 1st fret after the capo. Remember, capo fret 6, otherwise it won't work. And it's just this, and you have to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so it's basically 2 bars of 0 on the 5th string, an open 5th string, and a fretted 2nd string. The 2nd chord in the 2nd bar, your ring finger now comes across to the 3rd fret on the 5th string. And your picking hand now, your 2nd string now goes onto your 3rd string. So your 3, 0 should sound like that. I'll focus again on the picking hand shortly. After that, the 3rd bar, your ring finger now comes down a string. So it's now on the 4th string from the bottom. Your 1st finger comes back into play. And now we're going to be plucking your 4th and 2nd string. So it should have sounded like that. And then the last bar, you'll notice there's 4 3s followed by 4 2s. So to summarize, basically everything in fret 1 is finger 1 for this song. Everything in finger or fret 3 is finger 3. And eventually when we get to fret 2, your middle finger, finger 2 comes into play. So your last bar, also strings 5 and 3, should sound like this slow motion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's a very small, very basic transition. And that is your introduction for the verses the whole way through with the picking pattern. Now I'm just going to quickly focus on the picking hand one more time. And what I'd like us to pay attention to over here is the thumbs moving from the 5th string to the 4th string in the 3rd bar, and also the 1st finger moving from the 2nd string to the 3rd string in your 2nd and 4th bars. Here we go, slow motion. Obviously you can't focus and see what's happening with my fretting hand right now. I want to just show how simple and basic the transitions are and how little the fingers move on your picking hand. Here we go. hoping you can hear the different pitch as the chords go through the transitions. Now, once you go to the first verse, the chords get strummed once each. So we're first going to look at what the chords are, and we'll ball the song accordingly. Now we're looking at the bridge, the chord structure F. I'm sure you're familiar with F. It's the one with the first finger flat across strings 1 and 2, ring finger on the 4th string, middle finger on the 3rd string. Go to C, go to G6. Now G6, the easiest way to go there is simply move your middle and ring finger up a string, and then only use those 2 fingers while strumming all 6 strings. So you've got to open first string, that is G6. So it's not G like this, it's basically G without the ring finger, which makes the transition from C to G6 more logical to play it this way. And you follow by A minor. Now the strumming pattern for this, if you listen carefully to the words, you can actually hear it going through. There's a bit of a pause. And you're going to repeat that. And then when you go surrender yourself, you got that. So it's nice and easy from there. Now, as the song develops from then, you'll notice that the drums start coming in, the percussion, the bass, it starts building tempo. But the guitar, for starters, simply just plays one chord. Watch for the E as well. Pay careful attention to the PDF. If you don't have the PDF, please drop me a message via my YouTube channel or just WhatsApp me. I'll be happy to send you a copy with pleasure. You've got an E chord coming inside there. So eventually you're going to have, and then you're going to have an F, and then G6 again. Other way of playing G6, which you can do, you don't have to, is you can actually take F, which is like this, and simply slide it 1, 2 frets up, and then put your first finger onto the tip. So this is also G6. So it's got quite a nice sound from F to G6 like that as well, but I'm sort of convinced to use this one. A bit difficult to say, but you've got a bit of choice there. And eventually you can hear the guitar gets quite busy. Okay, so I'm going to focus on the strumming hand quickly. Now remember, when you're playing unaccompanied, in other words, you don't have a bass player and drummer, you tend to lose a bit of the dynamic as the rhythm picks up. So I would actually use a rhythm like this, and you can actually hear the guitarist does do this rhythm halfway through the song as well. It's going to sound something like this. Slow motion, down, down, up, down, up. Bit more of a different angle there. Down, down, up, down, up. And it simply works through the chords A minor. If you're looking at the second verse, for example, A minor, C, F, C, G6. So the chords are quite straightforward. So I need you to listen to the song, hear where the chord changes take place. And just as an exercise, I'm going to take you through the chorus now, which is going to have that F and G6 at the end going once each. So what I mean by once each is going to have 2 A minors, looking at the chorus now, 2 A minors, 2 G6s, 2 E's, F and G. Keeping in mind this is one strum, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the count of 4 means 1 bar. So one more time slowly, looking at the chorus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, and second time, G6. Is pick up the speed, and it's going to sound really cool the whole way through. So listen carefully to the song, get familiar with it. The main purpose of the song that I actually wanted to do was introduce that picking pattern that was really cool. That was the main purpose of the study of this, but you got the strumming patterns, you've got the chord shapes. You should have everything you need to equip yourself with now to be able to play the song through. So I hope it works well. If you've got any questions, drop me a WhatsApp. I'll be happy to help if maybe you feel I didn't explain clear enough. Otherwise, have an awesome week and take care. Thank you.